Roxanne here from financerocks.com. Today I'm doing a Transfer Tuesday video, and I think this is the last one I'm going to call Transfer Tuesday. I'm actually going to start using the naming convention that I use on Instagram, which is weekly money meetings. I'm going to share more of the details of what my husband and I go over each week. We typically pay bills. We talk about our investing strategies. We go over our meal plan for the week. We check our cash balances and review spending. I'm going to update the little tip out that I have in my journal that shows the weekly tasks that we do. I'm going to update that from review cash balances to like review cash balances and transfer, because I haven't been that good about it, which is why I was excited to start doing the Transfer Tuesday videos, because then I was like, oh, I need to actually follow through on those transfers when I tell my husband that I'm going to do them, whether that's moving from checking to savings, from savings to investing, or savings back to checking for when we have big transactions going through. So just wanted to let you guys know, and thank you to Sam and JoJo's Debt-Free Journey for commenting on the last Transfer Tuesday video I did and letting me know that it's Mary from Pennies Not Perfection that actually started doing the Transfer Tuesday videos. And I'll go ahead and I'll link her in the description. You should follow her channel. She's paid off a lot of debt and been posting about it with these Transfer Tuesday videos. She has a really good channel and you guys should check her out. I had an eventful week, so I have a lot of things to go over. First of all, I did my $6,000 IRA contribution. I had set the money aside in a sinking fund. I needed to figure out how to do a spousal IRA contribution, and I finally got that figured out and went ahead and transferred that money. So $6,000 for our IRA, for my IRA contribution. I invested $718 in single stocks and then transferred another $3,000 into that account, so that way it's going to be ready to go by the next time I want to buy more stock. As far as spending goes, we had our semi-annual property tax amount come out, and then I paid $962 for an Airbnb for a bachelorette party that we're going to, and so I'll be reimbursed for a good chunk of that. So my share was $309, and then the rest of that will be reimbursed. So I flagged that in my Mint account as reimbursable. When they pay me for their share, it'll go against the same category. So whenever I'm categorizing things, I try to make sure that if it's something I'm reimbursed for, it'll go in and out of the same category. So for example, sometimes Mr. Finance Rocks will get a company-sponsored lunch, so he can go out and spend like $25 on lunch and then they reimburse him. So in that case, I'd have $25 in restaurants and I'd flag that as reimbursable. There's just a little checkbox in Mint that lets me do that. And then when they give us the $25 back, I also put that in restaurants. That way it'll be like minus 25 plus 25, both inside of restaurants. So that way it nets out, it nets to zero. So just a little tip there for categorizing things, making sure that they're in the same category if they're reimbursable, or that you have some way of flagging it to make sure that your spending is accurate. Now, there is another way to do that. You could just have your expense go through restaurants and then have incoming money flagged as income. Those are the two ways you could do it in the system. I like to put them both in the same category, so that way I know that that spending that we had wasn't like driven by us. It was something a little different. Speaking of refunds and reimbursements, we did get our $1,122 refund from our old insurance company. So they had charged us for half a year and then we had switched companies. So they did go ahead and put that refund through. Okay, for the cash management section of this video, starting with checking, we have $7,335 in our checking. And so we will leave $2,000 in there for our 1 month ahead on bills. I'm gonna leave $5,000 in there for our annual giving. So for like Christmas giving, both for charity and family gifts and whatnot. And since that would only leave $300 left over in checking, I'm just not gonna do a transfer this week out of checking. I'm just gonna leave the money that's in there. If the account was currently at $8,000 or $9,000, that's probably the point where I would take that extra $1,000 or $2,000 and transfer that either to savings or to one of our investment accounts. For overall cash management, adding up all of our cash balances, and so accounting cash, checking, savings, CDs, and then in our case bonds, since some of our cash for emergency funds is technically in bonds now. So our overall Cash balances $78,165 minus our short-term needs of about $29,000. So that covers our emergency fund, which we have fully funded, $21,500. Other things that are in there, the amount to pay off our credit cards in full. We don't carry a balance, we just have them for earning rewards points and then pay them off in full at the end of each month. So that makes up the $29,098 there. Minus sinking funds. So right now for sinking funds, we have the $5,000 for end of year giving, and that leaves $38,067 for our wants and goals section. So that means $38,000 we'll set aside for our down payment on our next house or rental property. So whatever we end up going with there, $38,000 is set aside for that. And that means our cash available to spend is $0. Now, that's our regular trickery that I do just to help me remember, oh yeah, we're actively saving money right now. Now, since our goal is to save $70,000 for a home down payment, that means that we are still trying to save another $41,933. What do you do for your weekly financial review? What kinds of things do you look at? Do you do it weekly, or do you do daily or monthly reviews only? So I'm curious to know how you guys are managing your money right now. And that's all I have for you. I'll let you go. And until next time, I hope your finances rock. Bye, guys. Speaking of refunds and reimbursements,